For millions of years, life on Earth has evolved in fragile balance, adapting to an ever-changing world. From the depths of the oceans to the highest forests, every species has played its part in the great story of survival. Yet time is unforgiving. Countless creatures have vanished, their voices lost to history. For centuries, humans have accepted that species would go extinct. But what if we could rewind the clock?
If there's one animal that I could pick that would be still around, it'd probably be the Steller sea cow. It was an incredible manatee that's about the size of a whale, and it lived in the Pacific Northwest.
The red wolf is, even though it's still alive, it's functionally missing from any landscape. And we need those apex predators. So I wish that one.
Red wolves. I wish there were federally defined, as it's understood from the Endangered Species Act, red wolves across their historic range.
Oof. I mean, there's so many species I wish were still around. I think that's why we work for a de-extinction company. You know, our aspirations don't stop at woolly mammoths, dodos, or thylacines.
This idea that some of these extinct species are just out of humans' reach, and the spark that science could help us actually see those species again, I think just gets people more and more excited. Colossal is the world's first de-extinction and species preservation company. And why we talk about them both is we're in the middle of the sixth mass extinction that's caused by man, and we're gonna lose up to 50% of all biodiversity in the next 25 years if we're not careful. So we need to preserve existing species while also developing tools and technologies to bring back lost species. We think that de-extinction and species preservation go hand in hand, and we're the first company to ever work on this together.
As the global population rises by hundreds of millions, our cities expand, pollution intensifies, and the natural world is pushed to its limits, driving extinction at an alarming pace. On the 1st of October, 2024, scientists at Colossal achieved a milestone once thought impossible. Using modern gray wolf cells and precise gene editing, they recreated key traits of the long-lost dire wolf, absent for more than 10,000 years. Now, their work turns to one of America's most endangered predators, the red wolf. In Galveston, researchers are here to study the so-called ghost wolves, local canids carrying rare traces of red wolf ancestry, hoping their genetics may help secure the species' future.
The goal is we're kind of working from the east end to the west end to get a collar on each family group or pack, so we can start piecing together how they're interacting, where there's like kind of core areas of use. When are they using like urban areas, going under houses? When are they using green areas? And sort of trying to march down the island with collars.
100 years ago, the red wolf persisted all the way from New York into Texas, right? This massive span. As we sort of became unjustly afraid of wolves, we started to exterminate the species.
This then presents a challenge. Those last dozen animals become related to each other really quickly. This reduces genetic diversity, genetic health, fitness, and we're faced with not only a challenge of numbers, how do we get more of the species, but also their health. Can they reproduce? Are they inbred? Are they living the normal lifespan that we expect?
Until 2018, we thought there was no way to put in new genetic variation to help combat the inbreeding that's impossible to avoid with so few founders. But now we have a landscape of individuals that have different pieces of red wolf genetic variation that we could put together to help rejuvenate and potentially even create new founding lineages to help the population have better reproductive success, better resilience in a changing landscape that all wildlife face today. And so taking our classic tools of breeding and captive management to rejuvenate a population in a species, combined with the new technologies of CRISPR and cloning, we are just providing more tools, more ways that we can help these populations persist into the future.
But this is not a series of options that are limited to red wolves. There are so many other endangered species that could be candidates for something like a biotech possibility.
One of the things that I think I run into a lot when I'm out dealing with people that might have critical ideas of what Colossal is this question about why is it that you get to make the decisions of what species are saved? And that's not how this works. None of this happens in a silo.
So when we think about an extinct species that we want to bring back, we don't have like a standard checklist of like, it must meet these 7 things, right? But we think first, is it possible? Like, does the ancient DNA exist? Category 2 is, should we do it, right? There's some species, like there is no DNA for megalodon, so don't want to freak anybody out. But if there was, would we say, this is a great idea?
Voiceover here. Just popping in to say that resurrecting a 60-foot shark is, scientifically speaking, an absolutely terrible plan.
The ocean's scary enough at times without megalodons in there, right?
Some things are better left in the ocean of imagination.
And so should you do it? And I think that turns into, are there applications to conservation? How would it impact the ecosystem? What do indigenous people groups think about it? Are there impacts for society? Like with the dire wolves, we knew that wolves help conservation. We knew that wolves are under attack. We know that there's a spiritual connection with some of the indigenous people groups here in North America with the great wolf and what they thought the dire wolf could represent with their people. So we try to look at this like 3-dimensional model for, should we work on a species if we can, but it isn't like exactly set in stone.
But how does one actually bring an animal back? What begins as an ambitious idea must be shaped into something living. In simple terms, the extinction usually follows 2 routes. Gene editing, where scientists adjust the DNA of a modern relative to recreate lost traits, and cloning, where ancient genetic material is placed into a living egg to grow a new embryo. Both require remarkable precision. And of course, revival is only half the story. Any returning species must be prepared for today's world, able to survive modern landscapes and offer real value to the ecosystems around it.
I think there's this narrative with de-extinction of, wouldn't this money be better served being spent on conservation? And it's sort of this fallacy because people are ignoring the fact that de-extinction and conservation are intrinsically linked. So first we have to find ways to restore habitats. And what's really great about what Colossal is doing, what Rewild is doing, is it uses species-level conservation to put animals back in the wild and have those animals act as engineers to help rewild landscapes that were totally run over by humans.
I'd say that it's probably like 99% like people get excited about mammoths and dire wolves and stuff like that. And then we have to continue to push them back into the conservation lane because most people just want to talk about the de-extinction. For us, the de-extinction projects are just as important as the conservation projects because they inspire the next generation and new tools for conservation.
I started my educational career really wanting to make a difference for endangered species. So it's really wonderful to see this cross-pollination of ideas and methodologies used for fighting this biodiversity crisis.
De-extinction represents the first hope, the ability for us to begin to return animals to the wild, begin to restore nature that was once lost.
And I think that these new technologies, through cryopreservation and biovaulting, technologies like cloning, technologies like engineering genetic diversity, technologies like de-extinction, even technologies eventually like artificial wombs, will change the face of conservation. I don't subscribe to the model that we are going to lose half of biodiversity in the next 25 years. I really believe that there's incredible women and men out there that will use these technologies and create hope for our ecosystems and the animals on our planet.
De-extinction offers far more than scientific intrigue. It can help restore ecosystems, revive lost roles in nature, and reveal how life adapts to a changing world. So we must ask, if these animals vanished because of us and a shifting world, why should they not be given a second chance? As we look ahead, the real question is not whether we can bring them back, but how we will choose to live alongside them once more.